This car, 1987 Mazda RX7, belongs to my kid. He bought it. Bought's the wrong word. He traded a broken dirt bike for what was a broken car. I'm not sure who got the better deal, but here we are. And the car's kind of in a functional state, kind of. We've been through quite the battle with this car, he and I. And Bryson put a lot of work into it and kind of made it work. It got to a point where it would start once, and then it wouldn't start again for the rest of the day. Well, the car was in that state when Bryson left home. He is off now serving a mission. He will be gone for 2 years. And when he gets back, I would kind of like to be able to give him something that is a little more usable than what he had when he left. So here's the deal. The engine is mostly functional. I say mostly because the last time I went to start it, it started, but it did not sound good. When I turned it off and went to restart it, it was not starting at all. And so I went and checked for spark and found that I have lost spark on the leading coils. And I'm quite confident it's the spark because the same plug plugged into the trailing coils works, not in the leading coils. So look, I've still got a little mechanical work to do here, but let's put that aside. The engine, aside from this most recent encounter, reached a point where it was at least somewhat stable. Power steering's hooked up, power brakes are working. I even have all of the gauges working, and that's kind of a first. Well, all the gauges except the boost. I still have some work to do there. All the other gauges are working though. And so functionally, we're in a pretty good spot. I even have the rear hatch working. I have the key working in both doors as well as the rear hatch. I have the pull cable working. If I want to access the rear hatch from inside, I can do that too. I have the mirrors working, kind of. The passenger side mirror is working in all directions. The driver mirror will go left and right, but not up and down. So I think I've got a bad motor in there. I have the power windows working. And so mechanically, we're actually in a much better spot now than we've ever been. So put that aside for a minute. The question is, what should be done with the rest of the car? Bryson put some great little seats in here that he picked up from our friends over at Corbeau, and they're fantastic. I got tired of holding on to that old nasty steering wheel, and so I replaced it with this NRG thing that evidently is kind of all the rage. It's a quick release steering wheel, and so I guess that's cool. Look, for an old guy, this stuff is completely out of my league. But interior-wise, I've got plans, and I'm generally okay there. We'll put a double-din stereo in here, and I think I can print a plastic bezel around it since the hole in the center console is the wrong size for a double-din radio. But I think I can get that in there with some speakers and make the sound system, you know, adequate. I don't plan to go overboard, but decent. The question is, what should be done to the rest of the car? Mostly cosmetic. I've thought about going so far as to strip the thing down to the frame and rebuild it one bolt at a time. That's pretty much what we did with my other kid's truck. The difference there is that parts are readily accessible for old square body pickup trucks. For these cars, parts are hard to come by, and most likely you're headed to the junkyard to look for something off of a scrap heap. So rebuilding it from the ground up isn't necessarily ideal. What's more, I don't know that he really wants that. It'd be kind of cool and it makes it really snazzy and sharp, but I'm not convinced that it's the right thing for him, because when you do that, it makes it actually harder to use the car in a regular capacity, because all of a sudden you're worried about getting it dirty and don't want to drive it in the rain. So I don't think that's the right move, but it's a possibility and I have time. Whether I have the mental fortitude is another question, but that's a possibility. Really what I'm looking for is exterior ideas. I'm considering a wrap. If I do a wrap, I'd first like to do some skirts. I really kind of like the wide fender concept that you can get. I don't know what you call these things. The flared body. I don't know how much work those are, if I'm up to it or if I need to hire that out. There are a lot of little things that need to be repaired on the body just to get it up to a point where you would do anything else with it. The window trim has some issues. It could probably be refurbished. There are some spots in the body that just need some help. The hood up here has a dinger in it. That's probably the worst of the dingers. And the wheels are stock, and while they're okay, that's a pretty good way to jazz something up and really make it shine with some wheels and tires. I don't know, what do you put on it? What are you young whippersnappers doing with these cars today? I don't even know. Look, do me a favor. Help out this old guy. Give me some ideas.
I want a horn here, here, and here. You can never find a horn when you're mad. And they should all play La Cucaracha.
It's a budget build. It's not unlimited. And so I'm willing to spend a little money on it, but let's keep it reasonable. A wrap seems like a good idea. I don't know, I've never done one. Wheels seem like a good idea. What do you kids like in a wheel? I don't know. What are the cool are there some goodies that I should be thinking about on the inside? I don't know. So look, any ideas you've got, let me know. I can't guarantee I'm gonna do everything, obviously, but I really would love some guidance, a little direction. I'm way out of my league here. Help me out, please.